I just want to pay tribute to the large number of women who are setting up businesses at a very high uptake rate. I want to thank you for the contribution that you make to Queensland and to Queensland's economy, also to the contribution that you make nationally, and many businesses are exporting that are being run by women. Tonight is about honouring all of the women in this category, and I want to congratulate each and every one of you for the many sacrifices that you make. And I've run a small business myself with very young children, and I guess the balancing is always finely tuned when you have a family and running a business as well. So you're to be especially commended for the great work that you do. The winner tonight is Michelle Weaver. Congratulations, Michelle. Come on up.
Thank you, Teresa. My name is actually Leonie Davis. I'm a very old and dear friend of Michelle Weaver's, and started working for her in her business around about 7 years ago. And I would like to accept the award for Most Outstanding Women in Business on behalf of Michelle Weaver, who couldn't be here tonight. Unfortunately, along with 7 other staff in our office, she has unfortunately come down with an awful virus, and hence there is only 3 of us here tonight on her behalf. I'd like to take the opportunity to firstly thank Westpac Brisbane North for championing these small business awards, and would also like to pass on Michelle's appreciation for the recognition that Westpac has shown of the tireless journeys of all small businesses. I would also like to thank the other nominees for Most Outstanding Woman in Business. I'm sure that you will agree that their stories are inspiring and demonstrate that old obstacles, such as gender barriers, have practically now been overcome. Women do have an impact on the business landscape. I think that Michelle and all of the other nominees for this particular award demonstrate that business skills, not gender, determine success.
If you'd just like to briefly explain to us a little bit about Michelle Weaver and how she's been nominated for the award.
Sure. Michelle Weaver is the CEO and founder of VELG Training, which is an organisation that provides professional development and consulting services for registered training organisations across Australia. She comes from a reasonably humble background, a daughter of a chicken farmer and a teacher by trade, who became a vocational and education coordinator some 10 years ago, and found that there was a need in the market to provide people with more information about how to be compliant and understanding standards. Since then, she has created a business that I believe has absolutely boomed in the last 7 years, and she has certainly found a niche market there for advice, assistance and professional development workshops of trainers and assessors across the country. Originally starting from under her house almost 7 years ago, she and I worked together to try and decipher the Australian standards that are required of all registered training organisations. Since then we've branched into all other states and territories. We run a national conference, a membership program, consulting services, online products, etc. And I'm sure that if she was here today, she would be extremely pleased, proud and honoured to be receiving this award.
In the Brisbane North region, we are very proud of our local business banking team. We have a great mix of people, some with decades of banking experience and others with the drive and energy of youthful enthusiasm. So it was a very difficult choice to determine the winner of the Brisbane North's Best Local Business Banker. However, there could only be one winner, and I'm very happy to announce that the first ever winner of this award is David Reid of Geebung and Chermside.
Well, thanks very much for that. I'd be lying if I said I got this on my own. I'd like to thank Lisa Norris, the bank manager at Geebung, who's been a big help to me, and Casey at Chermside, he's around here somewhere too, and the brilliant customers that we have at Geebung and Chermside, and there's a few in the room tonight. So thank you very much, and I hope you're enjoying your evening. Yeah, well, these business people know how to run their own business. You know, they're doing well for a reason. We're basically there just to help them in terms of the financial side of their business, the banking, how they can do things a little better, a little cheaper, a little more efficiently. And I think by really delving into their business and getting to know how they work, how they run things, then we can tailor products and services to suit their needs.
I was going to write a really long speech about working in the community and what it meant, but I felt that I can speak on behalf of all the Westpac staff in Brisbane North when I say that community spirit is something that you do, not something that you write about. The events of January this year in Queensland showed us all what being a Queenslander is all about, and that's helping your mate when he needs it most. I'm very proud of the way that the staff of Westpac stepped up. We were the only bank to set up a mobile branch at the RNA, Ipswich and Toombul Government Recovery Centres to allow any flood victims, no matter what bank, to cash their relief cheques. We put 2 barbecue trailers into the flood-affected areas of Brisbane to feed the volunteers, the Army and the residents. We were then the only bank to fly staff up to Tully. We flew a total of 14 staff to Tully to again set up mobile branches and work side by side with the government, cashing the cheques after Cyclone Yazzie. We had many small businesses donate food and drinks to our barbecue trailers, and I cannot thank you enough for what you allowed us to do. We kept these trailers on the road for 9 consecutive days and went through some 6,000 sausages, 20 kilograms of bacon, 9 leg hams and over 2,000 bottles of water. Truly amazing. We are also extremely proud to work for an organisation that cares about doing the right thing. Our home and contents insurance has covered every property insured with Westpac and set up a disaster recovery team of staff dedicated to dealing with our mortgage and insurance customers. With Westpac, flood means flood and covered means covered.
It's been a great 5 months, Marty. There's been challenges, obviously. Looking back on the natural disasters that have hit Queensland, that certainly have impact on our business. We were actually preparing to head up to Rockhampton the day that the floods really hit Brisbane, and that certainly has devastated our whole state. And thankfully, we were there to stand with the rest of the community during that time. But since then, we've moved on, the season's underway and we're into it.
The Brisbane Broncos are very heavily involved in our local community. What sort of developments are you looking at making in terms of the community?
Look, I think we don't exist as an organisation without the full support of the community. And obviously some people are connected to us through our supporter base, others are connected to us because of the work we do in the community. In terms of changes, we already heavily resource, work in the community, but I think one of the things that the floods taught us is to make sure that we remain relevant in what we're doing. We can't be all things to all people, but I think we've got to make sure that where we are doing work, it's adding value and it's the best possible use of our resources. Can I also say working in the community is a wonderful opportunity for our players. They all come from very diverse backgrounds and getting them back in the community keeps them well grounded. The life of an NRL footballer can be reasonably aloof from general society, so community work is really great for the development of our young people as well. The winner is Stevie Hughes and Stevie Redback Pest and Termite Control.
Well, I went into the branch and some banking, and Carla came out and said about they'd like to nominate us for the award for what we're doing within the community. So initially I was somewhat embarrassed because, as I said, we like to do what we do. And tonight coming along here, I didn't think I'd be standing here with the award. It's fantastic. It is nice to get recognition about what you've done, and it just makes us want to work harder and give more. Well, thank you guys. Thank you Westpac Bank for supporting us in everything we do. Look, I'm here for one reason, because I'm surrounded by some fantastic girls and boys in the team at Stevie Redback Pest Control. And part of that team is our suppliers and Westpac Bank. Without those guys helping out, we wouldn't be able to win the tenders, get the jobs, and create the work that allows us to employ. We've now got 8 staff, so there's 8 families that, when Stevie Redback Pest Control does well, 8 families do well, and the company makes a profit, and we put a percentage of the profit back into the community. Thank you very much. only this week, on Tuesday, I was at Meals on Wheels having a chat to the guys there, and they're looking at putting the price up at Meals on Wheels. They charge $7.50 at the moment, and they've got to put it up $1 a meal, which may not seem much to business owners. However, for the people that have got to pay $8.50, it's a lot of money. So we are helping them out a little bit more. But basically, it's Steve Red Pest Control, guys. That's what we do. We try to, with the profits we make, we put it back into the community whilst making the company go forward next year. So thank you very much, Westpac Bank, for allowing us to come along tonight. This is a surprise, to say the least, to stand here. So thank you very much, guys.